Good evening, everyone. This is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. Welcome to Design with Debbie on Wednesday. I'm just going to give everybody a few more seconds. Just a reminder that I'm changing things up a little bit tonight. Instead of you guys having the chance to stamp with me, I'm going to be featuring the Dashing Along designer paper only because it's a promotion during the month of September that's ending soon. Hi everyone, so glad you're here. One announcement I wanted to make before I get started. I had set up a poll, I believe on Friday, asking you guys which stamp set you want me to feature for my Sunday share. And I'm happy to tell you that Country Home is the winner. So I will actually be doing this a week later than anticipated, only because of the promotion that's going on. So this is the one I'm going to be featuring. So look for that soon. Okay, so tonight I'm going to be using the Dashing Deer stamp set along with the Detailed Deer Thinlits dies. Because I'm doing 3 cards tonight, I've actually gone ahead and done all the cutting and stamping just to move things along. I don't want to keep you all night. I am also using just one image, this one right here from Spooky Sweets. I'm going to use that on card number 1. Now, for the month of September, the promotion we have going on is the Dashing Along designer paper. This is only for 1 month. You get a chance to earn this package of paper that has 6 designs. Let me flip these over. And you get 4 sheets of each design. Now, how do you earn this for free? By placing a $250 order or combining an order through a workshop or a class. So if you have any questions on that, make sure you contact me. Now, what I'm going to be showing you tonight are the 3 cards that you see right here. I thought it would be neat to replicate them. So again, let me bring in my little sign, my case sign. So I'm going to be copy and share everything is what I'm doing tonight. I'm trying to think, I think I have 1 change and that's it. Everything else is the same. And a reminder that we all love our designer paper. So make sure, even though you love it, that you love it and shop it. You need to use it. So I like to remind you guys on that. Okay, so the first card I'm going to show you is this one right here with all the 2 little reindeer. So I've gone ahead and done the stamping and the die cutting. This is the card. It's really cute. I did use Stamping Dimensional on 2 of the layers. The first layer is crumb cake, 11 inches by 4 1/4, scored at 5.5. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that. We also need Whisper White, and that measures 5 inches by 3 1/4. And then what I did here is I cut a 3-inch by 3-inch square and then cut it diagonally to get 2 pieces. We need the 2 little reindeer, the 3 flowers, and the reindeer are stamped with soft suede ink. So these are the ink colors that I used. I'm using Crumb Cake, Soft Suede, and Pool Party. Oh, and I also used Cherry Cobbler on the sentiment. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring in a scrap. I don't want to mess up my page. I just took an old page off, and this is so nice and white. I want to try to keep it like that for a couple days. I'm going to bring in the Pool Party ink with the stamping sponge. And I'm going to start in the corner, circular motion, and just work my way in. And I want my corners to be darker and then to lighten this way. So I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Okay, so you can see how the corners are a little bit dark. It just adds more of a nice effect to the skyline. Now on the sheet here, let me fold this in half. I'm not sure what they used for a background, but I thought the image from the Spooky Sweets was perfect to do the dirt. So I'm going to bring in crumb cake ink. And I'm just going to stamp that. Isn't that perfect? It just looks so cool. I'm actually doing this one a little bit darker than the other one. On the other one, I stamped off to make it lighter, and this one's going to be a little darker. I just thought I'd change things around a little bit. Now, I'm going to bring in my card base, and we're going to glue the two triangular pieces. Now I thought that was a neat way to save on the designer paper a little bit. Instead of doing a strip all the way across, you just have the two triangular shapes, and most of it is covered anyway. So that's going to go like that. And then this layer we're going to glue with Stampin' Dimensionals. I just thought it would be easier tonight, instead of you guys watching me stamp and die cut all of these pieces, because there are quite a few. Almost everything has die cut pieces on it. So that's why I went ahead and cut a lot of them ahead of time. Because primarily we're focusing on the designer paper. Now, if you guys have family members or friends that like to stamp or scrapbook, try to get them to order with you, and if you can get a $200 order, you'll get this designer paper for free. It's so worth it. Let me just bring these pieces in. Now I'm going to bring in the mini dimensionals for the little reindeer. And then I'm going to add dimensionals on the banner also. So lots of dimensionals tonight. You guys know by now how much I love dimensionals. Now the banner, when I glue it in place, is going to be a little bit higher than the white layer. So that goes there. And then the little reindeer, we're going to put one on the left and the other one to the right, and this one is grazing, so we need to find some of the little dirt to graze on. Now next I'm going to glue these little white snowflakes, so let me just add my liquid glue. And I'm going to bring in the Take Your Pick tool. Have you guys ordered these yet? This tool is fabulous. See how I just pick up my snowflake? And this one I can actually tuck it in and push it down. And that's it. All three of these are glued in place already. So that's card number 1. Let me set up for card number 2. And don't forget to share my video tonight if you want a chance to win a set of 3 cards. Okay, let me move this one over. I just want to set up all my little pieces on my Stampin' Pierce mat so you guys can see everything that I'm using. Okay, let me bring this in. So this would be card number 2 that you see here. And this one actually uses 3 patterns from the designer paper. At first glance, these stars look like they're stamped and cut, but they actually come from the designer paper, and you can cut the stars out by hand. And there's 2 different sizes, so there's a lot of stars here you can use. And I even used one. This one here is a partial star, only because most of it is going to be covered, so it didn't matter if there was a leg missing. So let's get started on this one. So cherry cobbler, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then the first layer of designer paper is 5 1/4 by 4. I'm going to go ahead, and isn't this side pretty too? I hate to cover it, but we are going to use a circle with this pattern. Now I have a lot of cards to show you using this paper and the Dashing Deer set. Sunday I'm going to do 3 more cards, and then next Wednesday, because it's the last week that you can earn this paper for free, I'm going to do 1 more. Okay, so I've gone ahead and glued both designer paper layers. Now I'm going to bring the circle in, and this is from the Layering Circles dies, which measures it's almost 2 3/4 inches wide. I'm going to stick that right in the center. And now I'm going to bring in all of the other layers. I'm going to glue the largest star first. And again, it's got 2 partial legs missing, so I'm going to make sure I turn it so that it's going to be covered by the other layers. So this one's going to go up here. And then we've got the third one down here. Now the reindeer is cut out of gold foil. Nice and shiny, so pretty. I'm going to add 2 of the regular size dimensionals and 1 of the mini dimensional up here. And then the reindeer is going to go, I'm going to make sure I position him to cover the legs that the star has missing, so you can't tell. Next, I'm going to split the sentiment. So I'm just going to hand cut across. And the mini dimensionals fit perfectly under this one. I feel like I'm dissecting somebody when I do this. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the mini dimensionals. So this is going to be a quick class only because I have everything all cut up ahead of time. Oh, you guys are loving that deer. They're both, the both deers are so pretty. They're so detailed. Okay, now I'm going to add that down here. And then the first part of it goes up here. And then I have a little bow that's made from the Farmer's Suite. This is cherry cobbler. And I'm just going to bring in the glue dots and scrunch it up so it's nice and skinny. And then I'm just going to press that in place. Okay, so there's card number 2. How cute is that? So card number 1 and card number 2. I've got 1 more to show you. Now this one, I'm going to see, and looking at the picture at first, it looks like that green, the Call Me Clover, is printed on the white, but it's actually the little die cuts. And let me show you from the stamp set. What's neat is you get 2 of them. One's over by the big shop, but you get 2 of these so you can cut 2 at a time. And they did the same thing with all the flowers too, so you can cut several at a time instead of doing just the one at a time. So I've got a gold foil flower. I've got a bunch of these that we're going to make a frame with. And then we've got the other reindeer stamped with crumb cake ink and cut out with the dies. The sentiment. Now, I love this sentiment. How many of you guys send out thank you cards once Christmas is over with? This is so perfect. And this is the 1.5-inch circle punch. And then we've got a Call Me Clover 1-inch strip. And the designer paper measures 4 inches by 3 inches. Now, a little trick I'm going to show you. I've got a sponge, a partial sponge that I keep in a container. And that's how I'm going to glue all of these little fancy die cuts. So, and this is thick Whisper White, 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5.5. So let me just fold that over. Now I'm going to bring in the liquid glue. I'm just going to add some on a scrap piece of paper. And then this is where my sponge comes in. Just going to add a little bit of glue. And then add it to the die cut. The only thing you have to remember when doing this, don't put this down where you already had glue because it's going to go on to the non-gluing side. So I'm going to create the corners first, and then we're going to fill them in. So as you can see, I keep moving over so I don't overlap on some of the glue that's on the paper. Doesn't that make for a nice decoration on the card? Just decorative, like a decorative trim. Okay, here's corner number 4. Now I'm going to take some of these, like this one's already cut. I just cut it in the center. So we're going to fill in between. Okay, here's another one. I'm going to cut this one also. So you really should cut out 6 of these if you want to create this card. Okay, this one's going to go right here. And then right here, you just need a little piece. I'm just going to take the end piece on 2 of these. And I am going to have to stop to wipe my fingers. Okay, I'm going to stick that right in the middle. And same thing with this one. Okay, so there's my frame. Let me get this out of the way. And let me just wipe my fingers. Now I'm going to glue this layer down using Stamping Dimensionals. My fingers are still sticky. I can just feel it. And then this is going to go over right in the center. So look how pretty that is with the frame around there. Isn't that neat? Now let me make sure my card's not upside down. And I'm going to go ahead and glue the Call Me Clover layer. And then we're gluing the reindeer. So you can see why I did all the die cuts ahead of time. It would have taken me forever to show you guys, to watch me cut all of these little Call Me Clover die cuts. Okay, and the reindeer right there. And then I have a piece of the satin ribbon. I'm just going to add some snail. And I kind of put it at an angle. And let me trim the end into an angle. And we're going to do the same thing here. Look, I get ribbon stuck all over me just from that glue. And then I'm going to add stamping dimensionals to my sentiment. And that's going to push that ribbon down when I glue it in place. So that goes right there. And then all we have left is the little gold foil flower. And again, I'm going to use my take your pick tool and glue that in place. So that's card number 3. Isn't this one elegant looking with all those die cuts? So let me bring all the cards back in, and I'm going to show you what's on tap for Sunday. Actually, tomorrow also. I get a class tomorrow. So these are the 3 cards. Anybody that's sharing, I'll draw a name for the 3 cards. A reminder that tomorrow is the debut of my 3D Thursday, where I'll be creating this watering can full of flowers. I'm actually going to do a different theme. And then for Sunday, I'm going to continue with this series, and I'm going to be creating these 3 projects. So thanks so much for tuning in tonight, everyone. Hope you'll have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time to create my little watering can 3D project. Good night, everyone.